everyone, welcome to my channel Exploring Physics with Priyanka Gautam, and our today's topic is Coulomb's law. And in this video we're going to discuss the definition, derivation and different forms of Coulomb's law, and most importantly applications of Coulomb's law. So before starting, we're going to discuss some historical part of this Coulomb's law. So this law was given by the French physicist named Charles Augustin de Coulomb in 1785, and we're going to discuss the Coulomb's law statement, according to which if two electrically charged bodies are placed nearby each other, then there will be an attraction or repulsion force acting on them depending upon the nature of the charge of the bodies. Okay, so nature of the charge is very important. Okay, so the formula for the force acting between two electrically charged bodies was first developed by the Charles Augustin de Coulomb, and according to its statement, if we have two similar charged bodies, for example positive positive or negative negative, then the bodies will repel each other. And if we have two dissimilar charged bodies, for example one is positive and second is negative, then they will attract each other. Okay, this is the inherent characteristics of charged bodies. Okay, so as we can see here, we have a configuration where we have two charges, q1 which is positive and q2 which is negative, and both are separated by this finite distance which is given by small r, and these two forces are the forces acting due to these two different charges on each other. And again we have another diagram where we have two similar charges. Okay, q1 is positive and q2 is also positive, and again separated by this finite distance which is represented by r. And F is the two forces, F are the two forces acting on this diagram. Now Coulomb shows that if we have two charges q1 and q2 separated by small distance which is represented by capital R here, so for this type of configuration the total electric force acting on this system can be calculated by this relations, where electric force is directly proportional to q1 into q2, and the second is force is directly proportional to 1 by r square, where you can see that if r is the separation between these two charges. Okay, and the third and most important part is the magnitude of the force acting on the medium. Okay, so the force depends on the medium. This is a very important property. Okay, now to find out the mathematical expression of Coulomb's law, we are going to combine these two equations, equation 1 and 2, and by combining this equation we will get our final result, which is F is directly proportional to q1 q2 by r square. Okay, this gives us the main Coulomb's law formula. This is the mathematical expression. Now we'll have to remove this proportionality constant to find out the exact relationship between force and charges and your separation. So by removing this proportionality constant, we put k here. K is known as constant of proportionality, and which is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. And you already know that pi is a constant which is equal to 3.14, and here we have a value for epsilon naught which is 8.84 into 10 raised to the power minus 12 Coulomb square per Newton meter square. And by solving this, by putting all these value, we will get the main equation for your force, which is equal to F 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r square Newton. So basically Newton is the SI unit of electric force. Now we will have limitations of Coulomb's law. So we are going to discuss this limitation one by one. So our first limitation is the charges to be considered are point charges. Okay, So in case of Coulomb's law, we'll always have to consider two charges or as point charges. Now the second one is they should be stationary with each other. Okay, if they are start moving with certain velocity or acceleration, then we cannot apply Coulomb's law in those kind of configuration. So they should be stationary with each other. Topic is Coulomb's law in vector form, and before starting this form, we're going to discuss the meaning of vector quantities. So the vector quantities are those quantity having magnitude as well as direction. Okay, so direction is very important in Coulomb's law, as here you can see that we have two charges, q1 which is positive and q2 which is again positive quantity, and both are separated by this finite distance represented as r. Now here we have two forces acting on these charges, okay, where the first one is F21 vector, where F21 vector represent the force acting on second charge due to first one, and where F12 represent the force acting on first charge due to second one. And here we have a mathematical expression for force on Q1 which is given by this formula, where F21 is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R12 square, and here we have unit vector which is R12 cap, okay, and its magnitude is equal to 1, so it doesn't make any kind of sense, but it's always used in vector form for the direction purposes. And here we have another formula for F12 which is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R12 square, and also again we have a R21 here for your direction purposes. Now since we already know that R12 cap is equal to minus R21 cap, so by applying this condition we can easily write that F21 is equal to negative of F12 vector. Okay, so this is the Coulomb's law in vector form. I hope this point is clear to all of you. Now we're going to learn about the superposition law. So this is the Coulomb's law in superposition form. But what is the need of superposition? Why do we need to use superposition law? So the main and most important thing is, if we have more than two charges and we want to find out the total force acting on this kind of system, so we have to use superposition law. So the first point is electric force follow the law of superposition. All electric forces follow the law of superposition. And the second one is, if more than one charge is causing a force on object 1, then the net force acting on object 1 is just the sum of all individual forces acting on 1. So as you can see here in this diagram, we have three charges. Okay, so Q1, so this F1 force is due to this Q1 charge, and this Q2 force is due to Q2 charge, and this Q3 force is due to Q3 charge. And to find out the total force on this type of configuration, we just simply we'll add this force and it's a algebraic sum. So this is the superposition law. Okay, this Q will simply going to add all the forces. Okay, so that's how we can calculate the total or net force acting on your system. Coulomb's different applications of Coulomb's law. So according to first one, we can calculate the force or distance between two charges by using Coulomb's law. Okay, and second one is to calculate electric field. As we already know, if we have two charges in a stationary form, and if they are separated by some finite distance, then there must be electric field around it. Okay, so electric field is your inherent characteristic of charges. Okay, so we can find out that electric field by using this formula, that F is equal to E is equal to F by QT, where Q2 is your net charge in coulombs, and F is your total force acting in your system, and E is your electric field, where this Newton per coulomb is the SI unit of electric field. And here everything is written, that if E is your electric field strength, Fe is your electrostatic force, and Qt is the test charge in coulombs. And the last application is to calculate the force on a point due to several positions. So if you have more than two charges, you can calculate the net charge by using your superposition theorem. Now we'll have a disadvantage of Coulomb's law. So the main disadvantage of Coulomb's law is that if we have big planets or big bodies, we cannot directly apply the Coulomb's law to find out the total charge acting on these kind of systems. Okay, so I hope these all points are clear to all of you. Have a good day, everyone.